So my name is Andre Pietrucha, which is really Andre is my middle name. My legal name as I was born was Zbigniew Andrzej Pietrucha. And I was born in Warsaw, Poland in 1958. Where we lived was a very outskirts of Warsaw. Actually, a little past my house was a where the bus would turn around and head back downtown. So it was the very end, very outskirts of Warsaw. I lived with my parents and my grandparents. This was 1958, so it's a post Second War, so things were kind of rough. I probably didn't know that at that time. Well, you know, home is it's interesting because I don't know that that's my home anymore, and I'm not sure that, you know, this is my home. As a matter of fact, I had an interesting experience once a long time ago when someone said, you know, I feel kind of sorry for you. And I said, well, why is that? And he says, you forever will be homeless. He says, because where you came from, your motherland really will never be your home. You kind of left that, and you know. And this will never be your home because you will just never really feel. So he says, you forever will be homeless. I never forget that. And I don't know, probably somehow feel that way, you know.
Did you have brothers, sisters, family?
No, I was the only child. I don't know that I had that I was involved in a decision as far as, you know, leaving or not. I think this was made by my parents. My father at that time, which was right around 1970, was working in U.S. on a contract with Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus. And so he was here, and I guess made some friends and acquaintances and decided that he was going to come back here and probably live here. And at some point my parents talked and made a decision for me that I should come here. And the timing was somewhat important because when you turn 18, you kind of automatically drafted into an army or one of the forces. So right before I turned 18, at 17, I applied for visa to come here for winter vacation, actually, and came and stayed. So.
Who came with you?
Well, again, I'm the only child, so I was the only one who came. My father was already here, and my mom left. Was still in Poland, and she didn't come till about I'd say 5 years later or so. So it was just me coming by myself to see my dad, who was living here. And like I said, at 17, I wasn't really thinking much about, you know, it was just I'm going to go see my dad, I'm going to, you know, USA, and after that, you know, again, he was the one that after that he made a decision for me to stay, and I had a legal right to stay with my parent. So.
What are your feelings about leaving home?
Well, again, you know, you're 17, so you're a teenager, and there's lots happening, and I haven't, at that point, I haven't seen my dad for a while, so it was just, I don't remember thinking much about it or analyzing it or anything. It was just something that, you know, my parents decided to do, and I was coming to and I'm not even sure that I knew that I was going to come and stay. I was just coming here to see him, possibly for 2 weeks or longer, and then we were just going to wait and see what happens. So I think my journey here was, you know, fairly easy and not very adventurous. You know, the ticket was bought, And I don't remember what airline, but I basically flew here. It wasn't direct flight, of course, but we made a couple of stops, and I ended up flying to New York, where I was assisted by somebody somehow to catch a plane to Detroit. And I think at that time, if I remember correctly, flying from Europe to New York, it took like 12 to 13 hours altogether. So it was a kind of a long flight. And you know, once I got to New York, I didn't know any English, so I couldn't possibly, you know, catch this other local flight to Detroit. But I was somehow ushered and helped by, you know, people around, and then I got on this local flight from New York to Detroit and arrived here. And my dad was waiting at the metro airport, and so in that sense, it was very convenient, long but very convenient by plane, and everything went smooth, and that was it, pretty much. My dad passed away in '86. My mom is still alive. She lives in Hamtramck. I live in Hamtramck. I have two kids. They're fraternal twins. They're just turned 15. And I guess this is home to whatever extent, you know. Feelings about my old home versus this home, well, you know, it's been so long ago, and you know, I don't know that I can relate to Poland being a home. You know, I don't know to what degree, again, here is home, but it's this is where I'm at. This is, you know, very likely I will live here for the rest of my life and probably die here. And so, and I guess it's funny because after I came here, we always lived within Hamtramck or Detroit area. We were never far away from Hamtramck. So it's either in Hamtramck or just outside. And our first home was in the middle of what is right now Cadillac Poletown plant. We're listed on East Grand Boulevard. Was our first home. I have a company that provides support services for film industry. Something that has just been going on for the last couple of years. And so, you know, I guess things are good. You know, originally, and I think this was after he ended the contract, after my dad ended the contract with Ringling Brothers. I think he settled in New Jersey area. You know, there's really just three major concentrations of Poles in United States. I think the largest one in Chicago. I think the second largest is right here in Hamtramck in Detroit area. But I think there's a significant population of Poles that live in New Jersey area. And I think this is where he first came and stayed there for a few years. And then I think, like a lot of people, was looking for community and was looking for jobs. And then so he ended up moving to Detroit area because of the industry, because of automotive and the jobs. And again, these were early 70s, so this was still glory days as far as automotive. This was, if you were looking for a job in automotive industry, this is where you came. And of course, the bonus was is that, you know, this area had a large Polish community. So, like in his case, he was able to move around, and like a lot of people, even till this day, just go and do shopping and take care of your basic needs without even knowing English.